So today is Thursday. So anybody have anything to ask about programming?
So, Shifu, maybe I face one question from Slido.
Okay. Actually, learning Dharma is like programming, you know. We are trying to hack our mind, reprogram our mind, because we have been programming our mind since beginningless time, programming it with defilements. Hui Wen, is Hui Wen here today? Hui Wen is here. Hui Wen asks, is manipulation of feelings an indirect form of lying? As in feelings, as in emotions, and in manipulation as in manipulation of other people's feelings. Is it an indirect form of lying? Depends, but before we talk about whether it's lying, any form of manipulation is probably not so good. Yeah. Okay. Is it an indirect form of lying? Well, yeah, a lot depends. So you can manipulate people's feelings without lying also. Yeah, like a lot of times we'll hear couples say this to each other. If you love me, you wouldn't do this. Yeah. Among friends, you'll hear this. If you're my friend, you wouldn't do this. Yeah. I would call that emotional blackmailing. Yeah. So it's a form of, in a way, it's a form of manipulation. But then again, that statement is not always about manipulation. You know, it's not always about manipulation. It is where it's just simply used as a tool. You know, so for example, let's say a friend wants to borrow money from you, and then, but you know that the friend is going to borrow the money to go and gamble. So you say, no, I can't help you this time. You know, I've been helping you, and it's not about you returning me the money or not, but I know that you are using it to just buy 4D. And then your friend tell you, how can you say that? You know, yeah, like if you're my friend, you will help me. So first thing is, this is an example of where the person is just using that as a statement to manipulate how you feel, yeah, to get you to do what they want you to do by pulling on your emotional strings, you know, yeah, the tugging at your heartstrings. Yeah. So is it a form of lying? In this case, the statement happened to be false also, yeah. But it is also true that friends would help each other, right? Yeah. So it is not always a false statement, but it's just that the person is using that statement simply to get you to help him, yeah, or to give him money. So this is one example. Manipulation of feelings. Any example you have seen, may not be happening to you, but you have seen that you want to share, then I can be a bit more specific. I can sort of target the...
Good morning, Shifu and everyone. I think it's like maybe you say one thing, but actually you have one like
agenda.
other agenda. Yeah, maybe you ask for something where actually you also have another agenda or something.
Oh, yeah. So as I said, but so you say something, but you actually have other agenda. Oh, any specific that is in the example of manipulation of feelings? Can be random example, but it so that it fit, and then we can take a look.
Actually, there's this sutta that I saw. I can't remember what's the name, but there was this venerable who wanted to. It's a female venerable who wanted to like seduce the venerable Ananda. I mean, in this case, because they are monastic, so
she said that she is sick, right?
yeah, but I mean, if we don't talk about the monastic rules, right? If we just talking about purely like just
Lay people.
yeah, or like yeah.
Okay. So I would still say that there are forms of manipulation of feelings or manipulation of people, basically, that can be a form of lying, indirect or otherwise. But there are also ways of manipulation of people that doesn't involve lying. So to answer your question, it's not always a form of lying. Yeah, and apart from lying or not, manipulation of others, we generally say that it's not good. Generally say that's not good. Yeah. Perhaps it's also because of the way we think of manipulation. Yeah, manipulation usually involves sort of getting someone to do something against what is good for them, against what is their wishes, manipulating. Yes, and oftentimes, perhaps to some extent, it's a way of lying, because usually you don't tell the whole thing, yeah, to get them to do what you want them to do. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, but as I said, it's possible to also just tell the truth to manipulate people. Yeah. Danny asked, do you need an example of where people tell the truth but manipulate? Huh?
Yeah, yes, so you're asking me if I want an example of saying a truth but then manipulating.
So you need an example?
Yes, please. Beautiful.
So somewhat related to also being sick. Yeah. So like let's say someone someone is not well, yeah, or someone is tired, and then the person can also keep quiet, but the person may also declare in order to get some sympathy. Yeah, without going further beyond just stating that the person is sick. Yeah, then, but he knows that, or he or she may know that, or by saying that the person is sick, then people will sympathize, and then there are other things. So without saying any much more than what is the fact, yeah, I'm sick. and really sick, yeah, really sick, then get people to act in a certain way. Mm. Uh, yeah. Is there any particular thing you want to clarify before I go on? Because there are two other persons seems to be who want to comment or ask. So it's just to clarify whether manipulation is a form of lying or indirect.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Maybe hang on. Maybe you can think about it. First,
It's not very clear cut.
okay. Yes, I can.
Yeah, can I ask? Because like maybe I sometimes manipulate my father's feeling or intention. That means he likes to eat meat. Then he will, like, I'm going to NTUC to do some grocery. Then he will want to ask me to buy like duck or chicken for him, that kind of thing. Then sometimes I will tell him I buy nice thing but not the meat part. No. I buy other like vegetarian, and then I will treat him and that kind of thing. So is it like also a manipulation?
Well, so a few things. So just now I mentioned that manipulation is usually used in a negative connotation, right? Yeah. But the word manipulate, if you consider it as just controlling something, it may not always be bad. Yeah. But because generally we use it in a negative connotation. So the moment you say manipulate, then it's usually bad. Yeah. But your example, your case, right? You are buying your father something different, right? And you are telling him exactly what you are doing.
But that is something he doesn't like. So it's like I'm going to buy my vegetarian lunch. So yeah, instead of buying him the duck rice that he want, I sometimes will, maybe it's lying or what, I will say long queue or what. then I will tell him it's more convenient for me to buy in the same store vegetarian, and then I will buy something nice for him, that kind of thing.
Oh, so if you add in things like, oh, it's like a long queue that side, but it's not long queue, and it is a form of lying.
Yeah.
Yeah. What if you just tell him that I only buy vegetarian?
Okay.
What will happen? What do you think will happen?
Then he will go out and buy himself low.
Oh, I see. So what happen if he buy it himself versus you buying for him?
Like COVID now, we don't want really him to go out too
Oh,
often. That's
so
why
are you?
you,
So are you
usually
more
I'm the
concerned?
one. Sorry.
You go ahead.
Because usually now I'm the one who go out and buy, like, pack lunch for him and my mom, that kind of thing. Yeah,
Oh,
and myself.
so are you more concerned with him going out to buy or with him eating meat?
Oh, more concern.
Which is more crucial for you?
He going out.
Uh, so so that means if given a choice, you would rather buy some meat items for him to eat
Yeah.
than okay, then
Yeah.
that's easier to solve. Yeah. Uh, but you would buy him vegetarian food anyway, Do you tell him before or after you come back?
I have to tell him before. So sometimes if he refuses, then I have no choice. Then I will.
Or what if you don't, you just agree, you go back, you go there, buy and come back with vegetarian food? Will he like tear down the whole house or something? Break your finger? Ah,
No. But then next time he might not want me to go and buy lunch. Then he
well,
will
that means,
say he will buy himself. I think
oh,
it's very difficult, lor, because he has been eating meat for a very long time already. So
yeah.
mm,
So how?
so sometimes I still buy for him, whatever he wants to eat.
Oh,
But then sometimes like I will try not to
okay.
buy. Then that is the situation whereby I think I will try to say like, oh, today is 初一十五, so I'm buying vegetarian also, that kind of thing. I will try to wherever possible lah, I would say.
I guess that sounds more like trying to encourage him to take vegetarian food than
Yeah.
trying to lie to him in a sense. And I was thinking maybe the fine line between whether it's manipulation or not, it is whether the result benefit you or that person. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah, because like in this case, you're trying to be of benefit to him, not that you are trying to have the outcome benefit you. You know, it's not that you are lazy to walk further, then you come up with some stupid excuse. It's not that buying duck rice is more expensive, then you want to save 30 cents. Vegetarian food many times more expensive than the non-vegetarian food. Yeah. So usually manipulation involves benefiting that person who is saying the thing or doing the act. Yeah. Or may not directly benefit that person, but benefit who they want to benefit than the person who is involved. Then we usually would say that is a form of manipulation. Or that's usually, I think, a fair line to draw. Oh.
Thank
So
you.
it always come back to our intention, Yeah. What is our intention? Is it to benefit the person, or is it just to satisfy ourselves or satisfy another party at the loss of that person? If you consider some of the, like for example, there was this, what do you call that? Old lady who refused to see the Buddha or receive any teaching from him. So the Buddha asked Venerable Ananda to go and teach her. Yeah. So in a way, manipulating her, right? Because knowing her weakness, in a way, right? Knowing that she will listen to Venerable Ananda. So ask Venerable Ananda to go and talk to her, right? But we don't say that that's manipulation, isn't it? Yeah, because it is to benefit the old lady. Oh. Okay, let me see. Phyllis just now turned on the mic. Was it accidental or did you want to comment on something on this? No, huh? Okay. So Danny asked, so good morning, Shifu. Some venerables from the Chinese Mahana tradition wear brown robes, some wear gray robes. Are the color of the robes based on the different tradition schools? Are the color design of the robes based on the monastery where the venerable is ordained? Yeah. So I sometimes like to joke about this. Yeah, I tell my joke answer first. It's a joke. It's a silly thing to say. But sometimes I'll say, yes, the more senior. But in a way, it's true also. If you, let's say, attend a formal setting, yeah, let's say a puja, then usually the abbot or the presiding venerable will wear red. Yeah, I'm talking about the Sangati. It means the precept robes. Yeah, they will wear the Hong Zu Yi. Yeah. Whereas the other monks will usually wear the Hai Qing yellow color one. Yeah. In and depending on the lineage, some may put on the precept robes, which is brown in color. Some may not wear the precept robes. Yeah, depending. Then as to the color of the robes, I presume here, besides the precept robes, there's also the one that we wear inside, right? Yeah. So that is either the haiqing or the changshan or the duangua. Yeah. So the color varies. In Chinese Mahayana tradition, we adopted different colors for different reasons. Yeah. At some point in time, gray was adopted because it was seen as 俗色. Yeah. It is considered or rather 素色, not 俗色, dull color. It's a dull color. So in the Vinaya, there are stipulations that there are certain colors that we should be using, and then when we receive a robe that is of a single color, we are supposed to 染坏. That means we are supposed to spoil the color. Yeah. But nowadays, sometimes it's taken as though it's like it's a custom, but actually it serves a practical purpose. The practical purpose is that if we were to use those robes that is of a single color, for one, certain colors are more associated with very flashy and so on. So should avoid those colors. Single color cloth used to be more expensive, yeah, in the Buddha's time. So you subject yourself to unnecessary danger, yeah, because like today, I cannot think of anyone who would come and steal my robes. Yeah, like lay people, they see, oh, this monk, oh, the robe's quite nice. He go toilet, oh, snatch his robe, run away. Or tomorrow I can wear his robes. Nobody will do that. But why is it that in the Buddha's time, monks actually get robbed for their robes? Because their robes, we call it robes, right? But robes is actually another word for clothing. Robes just refer to those clothing where it's one piece, and then you just wrap yourself. In ancient Greece, that's how they wear also. Yeah. In India, even until today, the sari, yeah, they also wrap just the same way. It's just that nowadays they also have another piece that is inside, for ladies, right? And men usually don't wear that anymore. Yeah. So traditionally, our robes is just normal clothes that people wear. But the Buddha, but the ascetics, they don't wear normal clothes. They wear discarded cloth. So at some point, it was quite disorderly because a lot of monks and then each one different pattern, So the Buddha asked Venerable Nanda to go and come out with a standard design. So a standard design is what we call the Fu Tian Yi, which has certain pattern on it. But you notice that the one that I wear, this is from Myanmar. I received higher ordination from there on top of the one in Taiwan. In the Chinese Mahayana tradition, especially in Singapore, we tend to sometimes cross-train. Some lineages frown upon it, that cannot either this one or that one. So the robes in the Theravadan tradition, not just Myanmar, you notice that you cannot see the lines, but if you look carefully, you can see the stitches. Having said that, if you examine the stitches, now the stitches were there originally not just as a design. The instruction was cut up the robes and sew it back. Yeah. The instructions to the monks initially were cut it up and sew it back. But then because everybody cut differently, so pattern all the way. So Venerable Nanda come up with a standard pattern. that resembles the paddy field. Yeah. So paddy field have patches, yeah, where you plant the paddy, right, which is the rice paddy. Then there are the ridges. Yeah, the ridges is to hold in the water because rice paddy you need a lot of water. Yeah, and then the ridges is also where you can walk on. So when we went to India, we passed by a lot of paddy field. Yeah, and then one of the senior monks said, Fu Tian Yi, you see the design. Let's, oh, no wonder there's all the yeah. So originally it was actually cut out and then sewn back. Yeah, and doing this was not a ceremonial thing. It's not a spiritual or magical power when you cut it up and sew it back. No, it was for purely practical purposes. Because once you cut it up, the value is gone. Yeah, because it's small pieces of cloth, and yet when you sew it back, you can still use it, but it's off, like it becomes worthless. Yeah, it's like imagine you not imagine that. Usually when you go to those big restaurants, right, and you order the vegetable, you notice that it's usually one whole stalk uncut and not chopped up, right? And the reason is because simply to have a whole stalk is more valuable than if they chop it up. Chop it up, it can be one head from this branch, tail from that branch, can be mixed all over. Yeah, but when you see one whole plate, then you know clearly this is from one set. Yeah, or if you go and buy a handphone, would you buy a handphone with a cracked screen that's still working? Yeah, you look, then you say, okay, Ken, get me one iPhone or Oppo or whatever. Then you open up, then they say, crack, right? Same function, no difference. You press, same one, same. But crack, would you pay the same price? Boss, same no difference inside. 8 gig RAM, 128 gigabyte storage, same. Snapdragon, same. But crack, hairline crack, no difference one. Would you buy? Nobody want to buy already. Yeah. Or you go to let's say using your example, I'm using the example of clothes, right? You buy the clothes. Would you buy the clothes that has extra line and then they sew it up? But of course nowadays I see online the funny story. The ladies' jeans not just torn. They tear until left just a skeleton. So crazy people nowadays, and that is more expensive than normal jeans. Yeah. So robes develop over time. The colors originally came from natural dye from the leaves, dye from the fruits, dye from the bark, dye from the roots. Yeah, they use different things to dye the clothing. Yeah, because last time what they do is they take the cloth that has been discarded, yeah, at the charnel ground. Basically, usually is white cloth or some dirty cloth or something. They wrap up the dead corpse, the corpse. Then they bring it to the charnel ground. They unroll it. The body roll down into the whole pit. Then the cloth is just discarded. So if it's discarded, it doesn't belong to anybody, then we are allowed to take it to use. So this is in Chinese called 份少衣. 份少衣. So basically it's cloth that has been discarded at the charnel ground. So we will take it and use it. Then when the Buddha saw this, he said, no, how can monks be using this, right? So they cut up. So it's also called 割解衣. So you cut it. Yeah. So you will cut up and then sew it back. Then when it became standardized, then plus the dyeing. So the different colors came as a result of the different dye. Yeah. Especially when Buddhism spread to other countries, not the same tree growing at the same place. Yeah. So the colors came about. So traditionally, that's why there are different colors. Yeah, but today, say for Theravadan tradition, usually you see them wearing the same color within one tradition. Yeah, so like in doesn't matter whether you're senior or junior, same color. Usually, if they're from the same tradition, same color. But in the Chinese modern tradition, the senior monk would usually wear a distinct color or distinctly. Let's say sometimes when they go out, the senior monk will wear the long robe and the junior monks will wear the xiaohua, the one that looks like shirt and pants. Oh, yeah. Chinese like to be subtle yet not so subtle. Chinese are very we Chinese are not Chinese, but we Chinese as a culture, we are very interesting. You know, we like to 尽在不言中. Yeah, don't say. But yet want to let people know. No. Don't tell people that I'm the most senior. Oh, but by the way, I wear by the way, so I don't tell you, but you know, I wear this one, so you know I'm the most senior. But we don't say, shh, no, don't say. Huh? We must be humble, we must be low profile. But by the way, I wear this, then bigger. So we Chinese are very interesting people. Yeah, anyway. Yeah, so depends. Different colors for different purposes. Jolene says, have to leave first, have a joyful day ahead. Marcel says, is being a magician a wrong livelihood as it involves a lot of manipulation? I would say being a magician is basically, in a way, it's lying, but yet in a way, depends. For example, Penn and Teller, you all know Penn and Teller? Penn and Teller is a very interesting pair of magicians. They will tell you how they do it. And they will tell you this is just sleight of hand. They will tell you clearly that this is not magic. Magic is just getting you to not see something. That's all. So they don't claim to have some magical power. So magicians like that, they are not lying. But they are entertainers. Is it a wrong livelihood? So how about those who make it as though they have magical power? Yeah, as though they have magical power. Then that's clearly lying. That's clearly lying. As a general rule, any form of livelihood that involves entertainment would usually be seen as not so ideal. Yeah, not so ideal. Because if you consider it precepts you abstain from entertainment. So if you were to engage in such livelihood, you're basically distracting people away from the path. You know what I mean? Xiaofang asks, hi, Sifu, is using expedient means, for example, speaking in a way that is more acceptable according to their temperament, like packaging so that it can be accepted, considered manipulating, but with the intent of doing something good? Yes, so whether it's so if it's with the intent of doing something good, in Buddhism we have a special term for this. It's called skillful means. Yeah, skillful means. Yeah, also known as 辩才无碍. So to have the skill of being eloquent. Yeah, so as I mentioned earlier, whether it is to get someone to do something to benefit yourself, or is it to get someone to do something to benefit themselves? To me, this is a fairly clear line, yeah, where if it's to benefit yourself, then it is not, then it is a form of manipulation. If it's to benefit the other person, then it is not manipulation. Yeah. Yeah, so like depending on who is listening to the talk, then I may speak slightly differently, use different terms. Like the children's class, I'll tell them all kinds of funny stories. And some of you, yeah, I should attend the children's class. Well, how come Sifu don't tell us funny story? Yeah, always tell us all the serious stories. So a lot has to do with our intention. One example I can recall, which I think I've mentioned before. There was this queen whom, after passing away, was reborn in hell. She is a very ardent Buddhist and that. And then the king was very was pining for the queen, so came to see the Buddha to ask him where the queen is reborn in. So the Buddha know that the king would be very distraught and also would lose faith in Buddhism, yeah, in the Dharma, if he knows about it. And especially because it's only for 7 days, and it will not be of benefit to him anyway. So the moment he came, the Buddha talked to him about every other thing to distract him. So distract him until he forget his question. So when the Buddha know that he has forgotten his question, then Buddha will say, okay. Then he's like, oh, okay. Look at the time, I gotta go back now. So I go back to the palace and say, hey, I forgot to ask the Buddha. Never mind, I'll go tomorrow. So tomorrow when he went, the Buddha again, great king. Let me tell you about this. Then I totally forgot about it. Then I went back again. So this happened for 7 times. On the 7th day when he came, the Buddha observed, the queen has been reborn in the heavenly realms. So then on the 7th day when the king came, the Buddha asked, great king, what brings you here today? So then the king, I would like to ask, where has the queen been reborn? Great king, your queen has been reborn in the heavenly realm. So the Buddha never tell a lie. So I find this particular example very interesting. Yeah, it is found in the great disciples of the Buddha. Yeah, an encounter. I can't remember whether, I don't recall seeing it in any particular sutta. Maybe if you all know, can let me know. But it's inside the collection under the great disciples of the Buddha. Yeah. So yeah. So this is a very interesting story. Yeah. But I think this is where you don't always have to answer people's question. You know, yeah. If you know that it's not going to benefit the person, why you go and tell the person? Yeah. Well, but at the same time, there are other cases where, sorry. Let me correct myself. There are other cases where people ask the Buddha question, and the Buddha remains silent for a few times because he knows that the person will be upset. But in the end, after the person asks 3 times, the Buddha still tell him the answer. And the person indeed break down in tears, was quite upset. But in the context of that, it was actually more beneficial because the answer basically tell that person, your livelihood actually leads to the lower realm. Yeah. And if you continue with the wrong view that it leads to heavenly realm, that wrong view will result in either hell or animal realm. Yeah. So I like to think that the Buddha consider the consequences and then act and speak accordingly. Yeah. So if you were to speak in a way that is more acceptable to the person's temperament, to get the person to do something or to help the person understand something that is for their with the intention of doing something good. I don't. If you want to if we call it manipulation, call it manipulation, but it is for a good purpose. Yeah. So have to check our attention. 愿消三障诸烦恼，
愿消三障诸烦恼，
愿得智慧真明了，
愿得智慧真明了，
不愿罪障悉消除，
不愿罪障悉消除，
世世常行菩萨道。
世世常行菩萨道。
阿弥陀佛。Have a manipulating day ahead. Manipulate ourselves, don't manipulate other people. Manipulate ourselves to be wholesome. Okay, take care.